Welcome back, everybody. It is Coin is coming at you with another one. Today is November 19th, Wednesday, 2025. Let's go get it. So in today's video, I'll be doing a weekly update, a midweek update. I'll be going over AMC, talking a little bit about EMAs, and on the second segment, I'll be going over the moon charts. So without further ado, none of this is financial advice. You got to do your due diligence. You got to do what's best for you. We are currently sitting at 24 subscribers, one subscriber away shy, getting that 25 sub mark. Let's get it. So I already had pre-recorded, and unfortunately, I got a copyright, so I got to be careful what music I play in the background. So I deleted it, so I'm re-recording this. So let's get to it. So if AMC can't break above the 226 level, we will be seeing another red week. So that'll be the 7th consecutive red week in a row for AMC. As I stated on my last video, historically, AMC has had 2 other times where it got 8 red weeks in a row. The second 8 week in a row, that's when the huge squeeze had taken place for AMC. So one thing I do want to mention is that, just talking about the squeeze, if we take a look over here, when I say that we're going to squeeze, I don't believe that we're going to be seeing the squeeze that happened back over here in 2021, as this was before the 1/10 stock reverse split. So when I say that we're going to squeeze, I just want to clarify that I don't think we're going to be seeing this type of a squeeze. What's on the table that we could be possibly seeing is maybe like a 10, maybe even a $20 squeeze to start things off. And if it could hold above this area right here and start, to cross on the daily, cross, the golden cross for EMA, then, we could potentially be seeing, a nice pop to this liquidity zone right here around $40. Again, this is all speculation though, but one thing that I do want to mention though, actually, going to the EMA, is before we get into the moon chart, I just want to show one last thing here. Even though we had that 1/10 stock reverse split, you could see that it has been respecting the EMA. You could just see this right here. I think this was before. Yes, this was before, and you could see it respects this 200 moving average. This was after the 1/10 stock reverse split. You could see it respected this 200 moving average, and again it respected right here. So it keeps respecting it, so I just thought I mentioned, that is pretty interesting. So if we now take a look at if we go to the next segment of this video, and if I go ahead and turn on these moon phases, you'll see that the new moon has arrived, and you could see we're seeing this, we've seen this time and time again. When these squeezes happen, it's a lot of times it's right after this new moon. You could see it's starting to fall, and if we do a little bit of back testing, we could be potentially seeing a nice pop to the upside if we take a look right here, here it is. Here it is again. You got the new moon, starts to bleed out, and it pops. Time and time again. I mean, they know. These people know, that they gotta be using the moon. It's just time and time. Here it is again, the big squeeze. Let's actually go all the way to over here prior to the squeeze. You got the same action right here. A lot of bearish sentiment. You got the new moon right here. Little bleed. And then a nice pop to the upside. Here you have it again. New moon. Starts to bleed. Just time and time again. Right here. And then boom. There you have it. So my question is, could it be this moon? This new moon where we get, the kickoff to the start of the squeeze? I mean, it is possible. One thing that I do want to mention as well is that this Friday is actually NFP Friday. Typically, NFP Friday is on the first Friday of each month. However, due to the government shutdown, it is going to be this Friday, 21st. So, I mean, that could also be a catalyst to, getting some nice pop to the upside. Very possible. So if we take a look at the 15-minute time frame, you can see we got a nice W forming. So what I like to see, or what I believe we'll see, market open. We'll get some correction down here, grabbing that last liquidity before, getting some movement to the upside. Now, one thing I want to mention too is that it's not necessarily that, a lot of people say, oh, well, there's no shorts covered, so, no squeeze or nothing like that. But one thing I got to mention, it's not necessarily just the shorts. It's, well, who are the majority of the holders? Well, there's a lot of retail buyers and everything. So what the market needs to do is, once there's enough shareholders selling their position, that's when we get our move. You gotta ask the question, how much people do you think, how much retail holders are selling at this particular time with all this bearish sentiment? What's gonna possibly happen, possible dilution on December 10th. There's a lot of fear, So this is the last stand to get retail sellers to sell. Once there's enough sellers, we get our move to the upside. And time and time again, it happens in this new moon area. They know the new moon affects our mood. We put frequencies out there to get people to sell, get an urge to sell. They get enough sells, and we get a nice pop to the upside. Time and time again. Time is cyclical, you guys. So with that being said, next time I gotta be careful on the music that I play. I'm specifically putting non-copyright music. That way I don't have to be re-recording. So again, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing as we see this squeeze unfold, as I give my updates. None of this is financial advice. You got to do what's best for you. So take care, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.